So I'm just going to show you here, this is where I enter into the forest, and they've left me the biggest sign you could ever find for like an entrance, a door knock, and it may look small, but it's really cleverly done, and see what you think. So that's it. See, that's part of a drainage pipe. Doesn't belong to it. And that's not going to make any kind of knock. I've just had a response. Two very, very faint knocks. But anyways, this is where I'm going to come in. And this is the stone I'm going to use to say hello. So. That was really, really faint. There was two very, very faint. Let's see. This is how clever they are. Look at that. That's amazing. See, there's a little one, part of the drainage pipe, and a small one. A broken tree there. These leaners, and sitting behind it all this tiny, perfectly formed, beautiful pile of stones. Look at that. I love it. Work on that's clever. So, it's time I got my Usain Bolt legs on and got moving. Now that's movement up ahead of me and I can't see it. And I'm following their kind of path where branches and twigs are snapped. And if you look at that, see that there? Follow where it goes. It's snapped from the top. Who on earth can do that? Unless it's one of those very fat crows. That's 12 foot up. It's a soft walk, but you can't make a quiet. It's soft underfoot, but you can't make a quiet entrance. What's happening is my tripod, I've got a proper camera bag, and you attach your tripod to the side of it. Are you telling tales? They're telling tales. Well, they're too late, because I've already spoken to Abaq. They're letting everybody know. Have a look at this tree. I've seen a lot of these. It may just be a natural thing with pine trees, but I don't think they're shaped like this by accident. This particular style looks like a lute with the bit coming off to the right. I mean, that's a big tree. Big, old tree. Let's follow it to the top. Something about creating these shapes on the trees, and I don't know what that means, but I've seen quite a few. I'm listening out quite carefully now. Now I can hear walking, and it's coming from the direction I'm pointing in. Stopped. I think we'll do the emergency stop things again in this week, see if it works. That way. Could be deer, you see. Animals. But you never know, it's always best to check. That's directly where we've come from. That's behind me. Sound up this way. That's the direction I'm heading in. Just heard snapping. I don't know about snapping, it probably was scarpering. They leave enough traps. Huge tree. Just come this way because there's a lot of activity going on. This thing again, and here. Whoa, that's... That was in this direction. Right, so I've got movement off to my left, and I've got clear movement off to my right. I guess that's where they've headed back to while I have a look up here. And this is the new gifting site. So I'll just approach this quietly. Right. The flowers are still there. Right. All of the apples that I put on here have completely gone. Not a trace, not a core, nothing. They're probably half a mouthful. A baggie over there. Baggie over here. Now that's interesting. And a bag over there. They didn't like that, I don't think. Maybe. See if it's been opened. That one's been opened. And this one way over here. Right. So I'm just gonna show you what I'm leaving. Give you a little bit of a view outside as well. Some apples. Now I left a whole load of apples here last week, and thankfully they have all gone. There's not a trace of them left, so... See that? Beautiful mango. Ugh. This will probably bring the whole lot crashing down because it weighs a ton. Put them in a pile. They can help themselves. As and when. So here, we've got some more peanuts. You can see those. And we've got some of these meringues again. But I'm not sure if they like them. So, there's only one way to find out. I'll leave them again this week. But if they haven't gone, I'll take them away next week because they've left the ones that I left last week. So that's above the flowers that I left for Ahochida, Zabiba and Fabusico. So this tree is opposite the apple tree, and we've got some bags of mixed nuts. There's peanuts, cashew, almonds, red skin peanuts. There's the almonds, I can see those. Thought there were some walnuts, but maybe not. So what I'm going to do is put those over that. And these, absolutely gorgeous. These are pitted dates. So there's no stone. And I'm going to pop those in there. So they're natural, but they're really, really sweet. So I hope that they like those. Okay, so what I'm going to show you here are all the bags that were left. This one they haven't touched. This had the meringue, tiny little meringues in. It's not been opened at the top. Put those down. No hole in that at all. So it may be that they either haven't had time to get to it or they just don't like the colour of it. But I am going to leave that there. I think that it would be mean to take it away. And like I say, if it's still here next week, you can actually see, looks like someone's had a bite mark in there. If it's still here next week, then fair's fair, I'll take it away. I'll assume that they may not like the colour. I don't know. But we'll leave it. So, come down to another bag they've left. These were the bags that had all sort of, they're like jelly shoelaces. There's a little hole there. There's a hole there. I'll leave it. I don't know whether they don't like the look of them, think they look like worms or snakes, but they're lovely and sweet, and I thought the children might like them. I'll leave it here this week. If it's still here next week, I'll take it away and assume that maybe they don't like the look of it. And we'll stick to the nuts and fruit. Because this kind of stuff is way out of their diet. They're not likely to go into the corner shop and buy this. So it might be totally alien for them. And then we come to the bags. These will all have had nuts and that kind of thing in. Noisy old things, these bags. I'm sorry, I'm going to get some quieter ones. So look at that. That's almost, you'd think that somebody had put a knife in it, but it's just a sharp nail. It's gone right through it, using their nail. My hands stay to them. And they've ripped into that. That's a good result. And the next one, same thing. A real big rip there, hole. see, big rip. That's not an animal, that's a sharp tear. I'm looking over to the direction where the camera's looking in, so if you keep your eye in the background. Another perfect slice there, sharp into that. And this one, I think an animal's had this. Oh no, I lie. I just saw that little hole, but there's a big slit there. So they've got those. They like the nuts. That's a good thing. Getting to know what they like is half the battle. Just have it in a different direction while I get my coffee. It always seems civilised to have a coffee with you. I've decided it's too cold not to. Just pour in a little cup here. Meanwhile, everybody is rushing around behind me, probably. That's the game, isn't it? This tree on the right with the bags on it is above where I left the gerbras for the ladies last week. I can hear an ATV, so somebody in the forestry must be coming along. We're about, I don't know, maybe 400 yards, something like that, off the track, the forestry track. So I can't think of a nicer place for me to stop and have my coffee. I mean, where else could be as quiet, as peaceful? Well, we've done all the gifting in this area, and I'll just do a 360. I've lit some incense burners as well, and you can see the apples behind me and the mango. Let's hope those branches are strong enough. And then on this side, there you go, there's some nuts and some of those meringues, and there above the flowers you've got some more nuts and things. Now, as I've been talking, I'm just going to turn the camera around so you get a better view of things going on. Now, I'm really quite pleased that I've seen the way these guys have opened these bags, because if it was an animal it'll just be a little nibble in the corner. One of the things I am interested in is the colours of those rainbow laces. I don't think they liked them, but we'll find out next week when I come here. And what I'm actually looking for now is footprints. They are allowing me to hear their footprints or their movement. Periodically you pick it up. A little rush here or rush there. Now, this is a real barrier, isn't it? A real hide. as tall as that is, and as big and broad as that is, keep your eyes in the distance as well. You could well and truly hide behind that and not. It would give you time if somebody was coming up the hill. I'm just going to do a circle, 360 I think. What do you say? Mm-hmm. So this is still in play. That's still there. I'm drawn again to go off to my right. So we're going to head this way. And we'll do sudden stops and sudden moves. Because I'm almost certain that I will be shadowed. It would make sense, wouldn't it? This is the gifting area. Right up on the top of the hill here. So we've got a hill in front of me, and I must remember that if I walk down it, I've got to walk back up it. If you were to follow Abaq, it would mean protection, and then a Y-shaped stick there, clearly in the middle, and then all of that, all a series of Y-shaped sticks. So maybe they're not keen on this area, or maybe they have to protect this area from elements that aren't. It's got a very strong sense of, it's very staticky. Staticky, is that a word? It is now, folks. Wow, that was behind me. Just hear little thumps and thuds. And look how flattened this area is. I wonder if this is a meeting place. Maybe the girls can sit quietly away from the boys or whatever. I don't know whether they segregate themselves out in that way. This is the area, the direction that I've just come from here. It's up ahead. Weave my way down, and right at the top of the hill, in the distance, is the gifting area. So the reason I came down here was for this tree. I just think it's unusual you see these bowed out shapes of pines. And below it, stripped off bark. I don't know, maybe animals use stripped off bark, but I have a feeling this area is for something else completely different. And this is where I heard all the sounds coming from before, gentle footsteps and the like. So we're on the edge here. We're always on the edge, folks, of greenery. Look, there's a series of them here. See, there's two together, bowed out in the middle. I might be totally offline about it, but it just seems unusual. I am so laughing to myself because I'm looking at this and thinking, yes, someone's been meddling with that, but let's go higher up the tree. So that band in the middle, that's about 5 foot, and then we get up to about here. That bit there, that's about 12 foot. Oh, what's happening there? So that's quite unusual. And the skeptics may say, oh, trees snap, they fall. Yeah, they do. Go away. Go away, skeptics. Go away. I'm looking in this direction because that's just where I've heard a cracking coming from. They're all watching me. I can see their faces. I'm learning what to look for. They look like the tusks of a mammoth. That's all bent round. And the curving of the one behind it. Right. I'm going to run up the top of the hill now, and because I might knock the camera against trees, I'll switch it off. Well, as you can see, I'm not even out of breath. It just took 3 quick steps to get to the top of that hill and have the physique of a racing sloth. Not. It's just not pleasant to hear somebody huffing and puffing their way up a hill. It's chronically embarrassing. Anyway, I'm just going to make my way out now. I asked Abaq where his family originated from, and he told me that they were of Nordic origin. And so, because I'd questioned the runic, what looked like runic language with these creations of the trees on the ground, the shapes, the geometric shapes, so I asked him whereabouts he came from. And I was looking for areas that particularly used runic language, and I kind of got Scandinavia, that area, but narrowed it down, and I said, is it what is modern day Finland? It would have at one time been Sweden. And he said yes, and in the north of Finland you've got an area which is Lappa. And I said, is that where you originate from? And he said yes. So I've looked all over the map, but I can't pinpoint an area for him. So I asked him, what was your family name? It seems they're quite an ancient sort of noble family. So the name came out as like Hakae. It took an absolute age to get that right, because I thought it was a big massive word, but there's a gap, Hakae, and so I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but the second part of the name was Safod, Safod, and I'm not sure whether that is like a sh sound or a sa, and whether the fod bit is food. I'm not sure, but it was using letters that we don't have in our alphabet. And so I asked him, I said, do you understand Finnish Cyrillic, close to Russian? And he said yes. I'm pretty certain that they'll understand most things. And Nordic Wicca, Scandinavian, so it's all part of their language, and it's not just one language, it's a mixture, it's a polyglot of all of those languages. I'm not sure whether they still speak it, I assume they do, but it was interesting anyway. So they've been in this country around about 500 to 600 years, and established themselves, obviously. But they come from a noble line. And so I'm wondering, I don't know, I'll need to check it with him, but I'm wondering if, like you would have Baron de Watt of Saxony or something like that, whether that is what this Safud means. It's an area, and it's something like Hakai of Safud. Don't know. I don't know enough about it, but we'll find out as we go along. Always learning, always learning. But this sort of thing here, let's get this focused. This doesn't happen naturally. They've been playing with this, and that one up there. Sorry, get my hands out the way. I think they've been playing with these things. When I say playing, I'm sounding slightly irreverent, but this has been one of their antennae. That's what that's been. It's either no use anymore, or I'm not sure. That's what you see when you come out. Nothing but trees. Okay folks, so you can see just how bright and beautiful and sunny it is out there. And it's early afternoon now.